up, my lovely females? This is your boy Costa, your host for the evening. Behind me is Thomas Cub's house. Today is Thomas Cub's birthday, and this is Project X. Yo.
Welcome to Out of My Mind, the podcast to declutter the mind and be good for the soul. I'm your host, like every evening, Miss Kathie. Today we are doing a solo ep, so I will not have any special guests on this. And as you can tell, I've been quite busy redoing my home. So a lot of things have been going on recently in my life that, I don't know, are kind of weird, I guess you can say, or a little bit different in my eyes for like what I'm used to doing. So starting off with that, trying out new things is a good thing, so I highly recommend it. I don't care who you are and what you're doing with your life. If you are stuck in a mindset and you don't know where to go, what to do, and you're just feeling really stuck, I highly recommend like dropping everything and like fucking vamping your entire existence, basically. So what I really wanted to get into was talking more about self-worth, self-esteem. I noticed that like a lot of people around me are just kind of turning a new leaf for themselves, which is really exciting, especially when you've been friends with people for a long time. It's definitely a good thing to watch people grow and evolve and, you know, have that aha moment, I guess you can say, with a lot of things. It took me a while to realize that I was stuck in a place, in a shitty mindset, if you want to say. I'm not saying that I wasn't happy in my past life, and not saying that I wasn't at my prime or I wasn't like doing amazing, crazy things. It was just that part of my life was over. Even though I didn't want it to be. Unfortunately, things led up to it just blowing up in my face. So we move on and we do what we have to do. I mean, of course, hurt is going to hurt for a while. Everybody hurts. If you're somebody that is like, nothing bothers me, I'm like fucking amazing and like awesome and like I'm unfucking bearable and reachable, like you're lying to yourself. There's definitely a lot of people that believe that you changing or you trying out new things for yourself is selfish. If people see it that way, then fuck it, be as selfish as you want then, because I realize that only takers will say that you doing stuff for yourself is selfish because they want to continue to take from you. Don't take anything personal. I love that saying. Don't take anything personal, because I was a person that anytime somebody used to tell me something or I felt like they were coming for me in some kind of way, I would get super defensive and I would just be like, I feel like you're coming for me, dude. So I'm going to take it as personal as I possibly can. But realistically, not everybody is out to get you. Figures. I definitely felt like everybody was out to get me and the world was fucking against me, and I had the biggest victim mindset in the entire existence. Now that you go to therapy and you do what you have to do and you try to work on yourself, you know, things change, people. People change, and it's okay. You guys don't always have to be friends with the same friends that you've had forever. You guys, sometimes people fall out. Sometimes people are not meant to be together anymore, and it happens. I mean, I feel like a lot of people try to ignore the fact that not everything is promised in this world. Everybody tries to have the Ferris Sale lifestyle of like being like, oh my God, we've been together for like 75 years and everything's amazing and everything's happened. Like, no, that's false. I mean, if it's true out there, there might be couples that have stayed together for a while and nothing has gone on. And there's also friendships that have carried for years and years and nothing has happened. And that's true. But there's a lot of situations that I believe that people take advantage of a lot of people, and they don't realize that you don't always have to stay in contact with somebody just because you guys have history. If it's meant to be, if it's meant to be. If it's not, it will drift away. And if that person loves you that much, they will let you go to be able to figure yourself out. And if you do it in a fucked up way and you cut somebody off and you no longer speak to them, you're just a dick. So yeah, there's that. Because I've had people do that, tell me like, oh, like there's no issue or whatever, and then just magically start unfollowing me or being weird or acting weird towards me. I mean, that's cool if you want to live that life, but I don't have a problem with anybody, and I've never had a problem with anybody at all. My new setup is pretty banging. I keep getting distracted because I didn't have these, and like now that I have full couches, it's fucking cool. By the way, shout out to Chico City. It is Cello's birthday. He does have his own business, Chico City. You guys need to go check that out. He will be dropping some new merch soon if you missed out on the last drop. Shout out to him. He's doing amazing things with that. Dive into him and his other 10 million socials. I know he has a lot more, but I can't think of them right now. So happy birthday to you, Cello. What else has been going on? Oh, I live in Florida. Not gonna tell you exactly where, but I live in Florida. And we just got smacked by a hurricane. Well, we didn't, but some parts of Florida did. But where I live, not really, but kind of. But it's all right. Me personally, I'm safe, and everybody that I'm around is kind of sort of safe to an extent. But yeah, we just got hit with that, and that was crazy. And I hope everybody's safe with that situation, because us Floridians, we be joking around too much, thinking that nothing is going to affect us. But some parts of Florida did get affected, and that sucks. So if you're a loved one that has, if you have a loved one, or if you know somebody, or if you do live in Florida, please be kind to people and don't be a dick. Some people did get hit by this hurricane drastically. Just because you didn't doesn't mean other people are not suffering. So be kind and nice and don't be assholes. Next thing, stop living your life like you have 1,000 lives. Let's stop doing that, people. Let's stop thinking that like we are invincible and nothing in the world matters, and we're like mutants and we can just like do whatever, because that's not how you should live your life at all. You should live it like you're gonna die tomorrow, actually, because you don't really know if tomorrow's promised. And I know a lot of people hate hearing that, like, oh, why do you talk about death, and why are you so like, oh, okay with it? Because everybody has to come to the fact that people die. Everybody has an ending and everybody has a time to go. So if you continuously live like you're invincible, you'll never actually truly experience life the way that it's supposed to be lived, because you're constantly thinking like, oh, I can do it again. Don't worry about me, blah, 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 blah. Like, no, there isn't no do-overs, and you don't get a second chance. So if you do get a chance to at least fix your life or change it, take it. Take that little second and just like flip it around and try your best to like do everything in your power to like literally live your life for what you want to do. Because if you continuously living like you're invincible, you're just going to end up sad and miserable, and you're just going to be boring for the rest of your life, because you're going to do everything, and then everything's going to be nothing. So yeah. Learning the art of becoming single-minded. So not being a fucking minion to everything, people. Like, we don't have to, just because one person does it, like literally my favorite saying, I know everybody hates it, because everybody's parent used to tell them like, oh, if Cindy's gonna jump off a fucking roof, are you gonna do it? Yeah, people, let's not jump off the roof because Cindy fucking did it, people. Let's actually like go the other way. Cindy got a lot of issues. Let's go and get Cindy some help. Or let's just say, fuck Cindy, you're on your own. I'm not dealing with that, because we can't also be enablers to people that have shit going on. Because if you enable people to do shit, then you're just fucking as good as them, honestly. You're just right behind that fucking trail, and nothing that you're doing in life is going to come out great, because you literally are enabling people that are doing negative things, which is causing you to be negative. The cycle of life, people. Literally. There are a couple book recommendations I did want to give. Excuse me. That's disgusting. So books. I used to be a bookworm when I was in elementary school, and I used to love low-key going to the library and checking out new books. Kid that was like just reading the back of the book because they wanted to get 100 on the reading test. I actually read the fucking book. And then when I saw reading books weren't cool anymore, I was just like, let me stop, because like I'm gonna look like a nerd. But it's really not bad to be a nerd, and you should embrace it. So I stopped reading in high school, because like high school, you know. And then I went to virtual school, so I didn't really have a library, so I wasn't like super fond of going to a public one. But I used to when I was younger. I used to go to a public library a lot, and it was pretty fun. and like go check out a whole bunch of books. Me and my sister actually used to go to like the witchy books and like the weird spell books and the weird like old books that people used to like avoid at all costs. Yeah, me and my sister used to go read them and like just sit there and like, oh my god, this is some crazy shit. So yeah, I actually started getting into books after my whole life changed and everything like that. Blah blah blah. We all heard the story. But I started getting into books then, and then ever since then I've racked up an huge, well not huge, but like a decent amount of books that I started to read. Have I finished a couple of them? Yes. Have I finished all of them? No. Just because I have a very short attention span and I like go from like reading one book to another to one book to another because I don't know why. I have those issues. But these are a couple of books that I want to share with everybody. I am going to read the back of the books because like 2 of these I've had for a while and then like the other 2 I just finished reading. But this is a wonderful book. You can get it at Target, Barnes & Nobles, or anywhere else that they sell fucking books at. Wow, I curse a lot. Oh well, you know what you signed up for. So Soul Boom, Why We Need Spiritual Revelation by Rainn Wilson. If you don't know who Rainn Wilson is, this is the guy from The Office that plays Dwight. Yeah. Okay, he doesn't like that character, if you didn't know, because it was somebody that made him look dumb, and he's actually a very intelligent guy. And I would highly recommend you watching some of his podcast videos that he sits and interviews, like people sit and interview him, because actually he's very insightful and he actually knows a lot of shit. So just a brief summary of like what is going on with him. Rainn Wilson is a 3-time Emmy-nominated actor, best known for his role as Dwight Schrute on NBC's The Office. I probably butchered his last name on Dwight, because I've watched The Office, don't get me wrong, but I am not like a super hardcore fan about it. He's the co-founder of the media company Soul Pancake and the host of Rainn Wilson and the Geography of the Bliss on Peacock. Rainn is the author of The Bassoon King, My Life in Art, Faith, and Indecency, as well as the co-author of Soul Pancake, Chew on Life's Big Question, a New York Times bestseller. He lives in Oregon and California with his family and lots of animals. So this is the trauma that our struggling species have experienced in recent years because of both of the pandemic and social tensions that threaten to overwhelm us. It is not going away anytime soon. Existing political and economic systems are not enough to bring the change to the world that it needs. In this book, Rainn Wilson explores the possibilities and hope for a spiritual revolution, a soul boom, to find healing transformation on both personal and global levels. For Wilson, this is a series of essentials pursuit, and he brings great humor and his own unique perspective to this conversation. He feels like culturally we've disconnected spiritually faith and scared, and we need profounded healing and undefining understanding of the world and that great spiritual traditions provide. Wilson's approach to spiritual, the non-physical, eternal aspects of ourselves is relatable and applies to people of all beliefs, even the skeptics. Feel the genuine insight, not to mention enlightening Kung Fu and Star Trek references. Soul Boom delves into ancient wisdom to seek our practical transformations, answers to life's biggest questions. So I would highly read this book if you want. It is 10 out of 10. I got this from Target. It was like fucking $13, I think. I don't really know. I don't really care. But yeah, highly recommend reading this book. I actually finished this entire book, and it's Supermarket by Logic. I got this book probably like a couple years ago. Literally like a couple years ago. Probably when like it first released, actually. So I don't even know when this book came out, because I should look that up, actually. But I will read this book over and over and over again because Jesus Christ, Logic, you fucking blew me out of the water with this book. He has another book, but I think it's a memoir. I'm not sure, but I am going to get my hands on it soon. I can't even explain how this book resonated with me, as like it felt like you're actually in the book. You actually feel like you're doing everything that Bobby is doing in the book. Like you feel like you're as broke as him. You're working at the grocery store. You're trying to get the girl. You're trying to do all this stuff. You're making music. Like it just brings you to that place that you feel like you're actually there. And I love writers that can do that. So I would highly recommend reading this. It's about Flynn. He's stuck, depressed, recently dumped, and living at his mom's house. The supermarket was supposed to change all that. An ordinary job, a steady check. Work isn't work when it's saving you from yourself, but things aren't quite as they seem when these aisles. Arriving to work one day to a crime scene, Flynn worlds collapse as the secret of his tortured mind are revealed, and Flynn doesn't want to go looking for answers at the supermarket because something there seems to be looking for him. A dark, funny, psychological thriller, Supermarket is a gripping exploration into madness and creativity. Who knew you could find sex, drugs, and murder all in aisle 9? So I would highly recommend, if you love Logic and you love listening to his music and you just love him as an individual, please read Supermarket. I even bought the jacket, but the jacket got ruined a long time ago, which sucks. But this book, 10 out of 10, highly recommend, top all times. The Yearbook by Seth Rogen, one of my idols, I guess you can say. He is somebody I've watched hella movies about. He's somebody that I love being a director. He is somebody that is just all around a great guy. Seth Rogen also has something called Houseplant. It is where he actually makes rolling trays, and he actually makes all of these things out of his own pottery that he does. So if you don't know who Seth Rogen is, please do your research before you ever get this book, because you won't get the jokes, and you won't get his dark humor, and you won't get why there's so many fucking people on this fucking book at all. He is a life legend of mine. He is somebody that I just love. I literally follow this man on Instagram because how much I love him. But yeah, I actually didn't finish this book, so I can't rate it. I'm like in the middle of it. I stopped, but anyways, Seth Rogen is amazing. It's an autobiography, so it's about him. It's about his life growing up as a Jew and growing up doing a whole bunch of drugs and being funny and just being amazing, and how he started his life out. So if you love Seth Rogen, please read this book. It is a masterpiece. I haven't finished it, so I won't rate it a 10 out of 10, but to me, anything Seth Rogen owns or publishes or puts out is just awesome and great and fun. So yeah, watch it, read it, whatever. This next one is Jeanette McCurdy. I'm glad my mom died. When this book got released, people were very hypocritical about it. People did not like the title. People said that she would get bashed for this title, actually bashed for this entire book. But you can't bash somebody's experience in life if you don't really understand why they are putting their entire life on social media or on the internet or writing a book about it or anything like that, when you weren't in their shoes and you don't live their life. So highly respect Jeanette McCurdy for doing this book and just writing about how an experienced young girl that went from doing iCarly and doing movies really had an eating disorder and was depressed and didn't even want to become a superstar, and had a narcissistic mother and had all these family members that just wanted her for money, and she was just finally like happy that, you know, her mom did die. So if you are a girl or a woman of any sort and you have mommy issues and you are looking for a good read, I would highly recommend reading Jeanette McCurdy's fucking I'm Glad My Mom Died, because it is fucking amazing. It is 10 out of 10. I read this book like twice already just because how good it is. I will probably never give this book up to anybody in this entire fucking world, because this actually transformed my everything of how I think about family members, how I think about just people in general, and how I actually understood why Jeanette McCurdy put her life off to the side for a lot of reasons, and why she is the way she is. Because even though these are all famous people, we all connect to them in a different kind of way. You never, just like us, they never know what we are going through, and we also never know what a famous person is going through as well. So these books I highly recommend to read, all 4 of them. They are possibly one of the 4 greatest books you would probably start off to read. Just look into those for that. I actually brought my journal out because I usually don't journal every day. I'm gonna be 100% honest. I don't. I actually was journaling yesterday and I was like, damn, it's been like a month since I actually journaled. I wouldn't say a month, but maybe like a couple weeks. But I don't journal every day just because Some days I'm having like a great day that I don't need to like journal about them, I guess, or I just forget, if I'm being honest. Most of the times though, when I do journal, it's like about everything that's going on, even in that week or that moment or that time or that day. When I first looked back at this, my first date that I wrote in it was April 22nd. I didn't even feel comfortable writing in the journal yet, just because I needed to find a way to actually write my thoughts down, because it didn't even feel like my thoughts wanted to be put on paper. I couldn't even figure, like I had to like ramble them out first in my head to be able to put them on paper, because I felt like I was going insane, man. I was just losing my shit. So journaling had really opened my mind to trying to understand myself more better and trying to understand why I was feeling a lot of the emotions that I was feeling. I look back on it, and just a couple months ago, I was very sad. I was very depressed. I was very out of it. I didn't even want to do anything. Well, it sounded like she didn't want to do anything, because I read it back like literally yesterday. I was like, damn, girl, you didn't even want to take a shower. Oh my God. It was bad. But I mean, just to look at it now and to like reflect back on how you grow in such a short amount of time is crazy. You really, if you put in the work and you really care for yourself the way that you're saying that you are, and you're not really trying to fake it for anybody, like when I read that, it literally brought tears to my eyes, because I was like, oh my God, like I was in such a shitty place. And not saying I'm like fucking fantastic and everything's great and everything's wonderful, because I still have my bad days and I'm still trying to learn on this new life that I'm put on, but I am doing better than I was. And that's always progress to me, is that whenever you are doing better than where you last was or were, or whatever the case is, you just feel like, damn, like I really did that. What else can I do? Or what else is going to be able to open up for me? It's getting dark outside. I don't know if you guys can notice, but yeah, it's about to rain again. Too, and I know that I do a lot, is I tend to push people away, because if they leave, it won't hurt me. So there's a lot of stuff that I've done that I realize and I reflect back on that I was just like, ooh, I shouldn't have done that. Like, that's bad. Like, instead of talking about something, I was quick to just like push people away and just like not talk about it. I'm not a confrontational person. Like, if you do something to me and then you want to like sit and talk about it, like I will avoid you at all costs, and I'll just ignore you, because I feel like a lot of people know what they do, but they try to play stupid, like they don't know what they're doing. And I feel like we're all too grown to be doing situations like that. So if you're doing that to somebody, grow the fuck up. Don't shade people off, and don't keep pushing people away because you don't want to own up to or have responsibility towards anything. I feel like a lot of people that avoid situations are just avoiding situations because they feel guilty for certain things. My thing is I just feel like people always know what they do to people, so I feel like you have no excuse or why you did what you did to me, or you put me in a bad position, because I get it, people mess up and they make mistakes. I am totally understandable about that. But when it becomes a consistent pattern, like I said, you're doing that shit on purpose, not on accident, not because it was a mistake, no, because you meant that. So with that being said, grow up. Stop trailing people along. If you don't want to deal with somebody, leave it alone where it's at. Keep moving on with your life, and don't drag people down with you if you no longer see them in your future. That's all I have to say about that. You either conquer or you will be conquered, if that makes sense. So you either will have the world in the palm of your hands, or the world will suck you dry. You choose what you want. It's either or in this lifetime. People really believe that, oh, you do this or you do that, and like you're gonna fucking be 100%. No, you have to continue to work every single day to be able to get where you want in life. There is not one person that I know that is not fucking working. They're either doing something, they're not sitting on their ass, they're actually going out, getting shit done, even if it's the littlest thing ever. If you sit on your ass, you waste your entire fucking day, literally. I mean, don't get me wrong, I love a good lazy day. I love to just sit in and not do shit. But is it healthy? No, it's not. Because even if it's just reading a book inside your house, or journaling, or going out for a walk or going for a run. It's literally the simplest things ever that actually occupy your time and make you feel like you're doing so much productive things. Like, my phone is on do not disturb 99% of the day because I don't like to be disturbed and I don't want anybody bothering me. But I will answer my phone very fastly if it's somebody that I'm very close with. Absolutely. And I'm not the type of person that's gonna like fake be busy. Like, I'm not gonna fucking act like I have a million things going. I'm not a superstar, okay? I'm not that fucking busy. I have my phone in my hand 95% of the day. So the other fucking percent, I'm either sleeping or like doing something that I'm not on my phone for. So, of the acronym PAID, sorry, I was reading something. PAID, patience, attitude, intelligence, and discipline, and helps you think long term. If you want to get paid, you have to understand the word paid. So people always want to say, oh, I want to get paid, I want to get paid, I want money, I want this, I want that. If you don't constantly put it in the universe that you want good things to happen to you and you want money to flow your way, and you don't have patience, you don't have the attitude that you want it, you don't have the intelligence of actually multiplying your money and actually doubling it and not just staying stuck with the same amount, or you don't have discipline to be able to hold yourself together and not splurge on certain things and not, spend money erratically and just be able to just have everything content, because it's easy to get money, it's not easy to keep money. There's a difference. So I highly recommend writing that acronym down: PAID, patience, attitude, intelligence, and discipline. Once you understand the word and you actually get where it's coming from, you'll definitely learn more ways of actually getting money. There's your fucking thought of the day. Quote for the day. Okay. There's 3 aspects of reality: pain, uncertainty, and constant work. You're always in pain, you're always going to be uncertain, you're always going to be working. Those are the 3 things that we always constantly look at in reality of life, that everybody has all 3 of them. There's not one person in this world that's walking around, that's physically breathing, that doesn't have all 3 of those things: pain, uncertainty, and constant work. Not admitting to yourself when there is a problem is a big problem, because when you don't take accountability for a lot of the things that you put out into the world and a lot of the things that reflect back on you, if you don't actually realize that you are the cause of everything that you put out into the universe, and the reason why a lot of the shit happens the way it does is because it all starts with us. So if you don't admit that you actually have a problem in whatever way or form that is, then you'll never get down to the root of the issue, and you'll never be able to heal or do anything correctly. Let yourself fuck up. You're not supposed to be perfect. Nobody is. I've fucked up on numerous accounts many times. I tell my friends all the time. They think I have my shit together, and I'd be like, dude, no, none of us do. We're all young, and we're all trying to figure out in this fucking life what we want in life and what is going to happen for us in the future. And some of us are scared. Some of us don't know where we are going. Some of us are working a 9 to 5 just trying to get by, and some of us are trying to conquer the biggest fucking task that we've ever had in our entire existence. So you really never know what other people are going through until you actually get put in that position to feel that, to actually feel their pain, to actually feel like, damn, that shit wasn't easy. I don't even know how they did it. So I definitely would say be nicer to people and let yourself fuck up, and don't judge anybody about their fuck ups either, because nobody's perfect. There's not one singular person that I know in this world that's exactly perfect. Being vulnerable is okay. It allows you to feel. I get scared being vulnerable with myself, and I get scared of being vulnerable with other people, because the more vulnerable I am, it kind of feels like I'm weaker in that sense. But I have to understand that vulnerability is also a good key to be able to let people in and to understand you a little bit more. But I also feel like people take advantage. So it's just like a 2-way street with it when it comes to vulnerability. But definitely let yourself be vulnerable. Journal, cry, get mad, scream. Do whatever you need to do to let yourself be in that calm space of trying to understand yourself and just kind of let go in the moment, even if it's around one person or nobody. Just let yourself be vulnerable so you can feel those feelings and be able to get those raw emotions out, because that's the best thing that you could possibly do for yourself in that way. I also love the string of pearls. Every action has the same value. So if you really think about it, I actually learned this from studs. So if you think about it, it's a string, and you're just the pearl necklaces that women wear, you're constantly just adding a pearl every single time. So what you say to yourself is, I'm the person putting the next pearl on the string. Everything will have a shitty experience. No matter what it is, no matter what happens in your life, there will always be a shitty experience. People always be like, that's such a negative way to think. No, it's fucking reality, people. Everything in life always has a consequence. Everything always has a shitty. There's always one little shitty experience that you have in a day. Even it's the smallest thing in the fucking world. It's literally the shittiest moment ever. So I would definitely take that into accountability next time you're doing something. Like, yeah, it might be fucked up, but guess what? We're gonna put another pearl onto the fucking string and we're gonna keep it fucking moving. Because there's really nothing to dwell on whenever there is always gonna be a shitty experience. Once you think about that in your head, like, oh, there's always gonna be a fuck up because I'm not perfect, so let me go ahead and add another fucking pearl onto the string so I can keep it moving and try and keep going. Because there's always going to be a fall down. You're always going to have a let down. You're always going to have somebody mess you up. You're always going to have a heartbreak. You're always going to be mad. You're always going to be sad. It's just a constant thing in life. Just like I said, the reality is there's 3 things: pain, uncertainty, and constant work. If you constantly think about that, you'll constantly have kind of attitude that I do about everything now. So I definitely would say those things to myself. After my situation, I would be like, oh, if this happened, got to put another pearl on, I got to keep moving, because I can't keep sitting and thinking about, oh, poor me, oh, poor, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? When shit, what am I going to do? Figure it the fuck out. That's exactly what I'm going to do. The grateful flow. So creating a cloud, forgetting that there is a sun. It's a perfect way to actually get very in your head about things. So if you're constantly putting a big thunderous cloud over you, you're going to always forget that there is something behind there. So you know how they always say that there's light at the end of the tunnel? Okay, well, you keep creating a cloud and forgetting that there is a sun. It's the same shit, because you're just keeping a big negative, disruptive, annoying cloud over you. You're never going to realize that it's always good on the other side. It's always going to have a great outcome if you keep pushing through the storm, if you keep doing what you're doing, if you keep adding everything to what it's supposed to be. Then you'll be able to see that sunlight at the end. But if you keep just putting more clouds around you, you're not going to see shit. You're just going to be negative and miserable for the rest of your life. So let's not do that, okay? So even if you can't see it, there's always a positive. There's always a positive and a negative. So don't get so fucking distraught over shit anymore, people. I mean, I do. Don't get me wrong. Not a guru, not a therapist, nor do I fucking have a degree of any sort. I'm just letting you know, as a semi-experienced person of this thing we call life, there's always a positive out of a negative, because so much negative shit has happened, but there's also a lot of positive shit that kind of equals out the playing field. Like, I think people constantly overthink, just like me. I'm an overthinker. I love overthinking. It's my favorite game to play. It's like, ooh, what are we gonna overthink about today? But if you even think about the slightest little positive thing that can happen in your day, like going to go get Wendy's after a long day, that's a positive thing if you like Wendy's. Or going to a bookstore after you just fucking cried your eyes out in the parking lot and like you want to buy yourself something nice, go ahead, do it. Or you go to Starbucks and go get your favorite drink and you go for a walk in the park, do it. It's the littlest things and the positive things that make you happy that will make the negative be like, that shit was nothing, I'm all good. Arguing with your thoughts is never good. Please don't do that. It's really bad. Movie recommendations, because people liked that last time. I was like killing it. I was like, shit, girl, okay. Movie recommendations. Let's see what we're gonna put. I could do music recommendations, but y'all not ready for that. Y'all is not ready. Because I will like literally put my whole playlist on here if you guys would let me. If you guys want music recommendations, let me know that too, because I will definitely give you some heat to add to your playlist. I have a lot of them, a lot of playlists. So, so right now, I've been into a lot of like scary movies. Like I eating them up. You know why? Because it's almost my favorite time of year. Halloween, bitches. Oh, yeah, no, not Christmas. It's Halloween. Faux show, baby. So, movie recommendations. The Fallout. 10 out of 10. Watch it. It's about a school shooting at a high school. I can't remember who I watched the movie with, but The Fallout was good. It has Jenna Ortega and what's her name? Damn it. Maddie from Dance Moms. Can't remember her last name right now, but Maddie and Jenna. Maddie Ziegler. That's her name. There we go. Jenna Ortega, Maddie Ziegler. Oh, and Shailene Woodley's in here. She plays in Divergent and not Perks of Being a Wildflower. She don't play in that shit. Just kidding. She plays in Divergent. She plays, what's that one called? The Fault in Our Stars. That's what she plays in. She actually plays in a lot of movies. Shailene Woodley, she's the queen of movies. But yes, The Fallout. It stars Jenna Ortega and Maddie Ziegler. After a school shooting, they become like BFFs. She reinvents herself while reevaluating her relationships with the few of the world, moving away from her comfortable family routine. She starts making choices with a series of decisions that test her own boundaries and push her in new directions as she spends more time with Mia, aka Maddie. They grow closer, and Veda slowly redefines herself through her shared experiences. So basically, one girl like comes from like an average life family, the other girl comes from like a rich family, and then like they both kind of see common bases on a lot of things because like she starts to like go through this whole like, oh my god, I'm reinventing myself after the school shooting. It's crazy. I lost friends. I lost people. I'm so traumatized by everything. Very good. Very 10 out of 10 psychological movie. It was actually rated a 4.3. Yeah, so definitely watch that movie. That is I'm just gonna state the obvious. Split. Great movie. 10 out of 10, 10 out of 10, 10 out of 10. I can't tell people how good this movie is. Split actually has numerous movies, I think. Yep, it does. No, it only has Split and Glass. But yeah, Split and Glass. Split was better than Glass. But yeah, Split was 10 out of 10. It came out in 2016. So Kevin has evidence of 23 personalities to his trusted psychiatrist, Dr. Fletcher. There remains one still submerged who is set to materialize and dominate all the others. Compelled to abduct 3 teenagers led by willful observant Casey, Kevin reaches a war for survival among all of those contained within him, as well as everyone around him as the walls between his compartments shatter. So if you ever want to know what multiple personalities look like, definitely watch this. Not a movie, but it is a TV show, and it's actually really good because I just finished it. This is what it's called. It's on Apple TV. It is called Blackbird. Oh my god, I ate this show up for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Like, I could not stop watching it. I binge watched the shit out of it, and I finished it like so fast. As Jimmy King begins his 10-year prison sentence, he gets an incredible offer. If he can incite a confession from a suspected killer, Larry Hall, he will be freed from completing this mission. Becomes the challenge of his lifetime. It's on Apple TV. Highly recommend watching it. It's probably one of the best. It has Ray Liotta in it that did pass away. Also Jimmy King, he played in a lot of other movies. What is his real name? Taron. I'm gonna butcher his last name, so I'm not even gonna try it. But it is based off a true story. It is about a serial killer, and it's actually scary because in 1995, Larry Hall was sent to Springfield for kidnapping Jessica Roach, a 15-year-old girl who went missing in 1993. The conviction was based off Hall's original confession to murder, despite his later attempts to recant. So that's all I'm going to say about that show, because you got to watch the rest of it to be able to understand why this is so good. I love serial killer stuff. I love like murder TV shows or anything that has to do with like killing, and it's so great. Love it. Yeah, there's that. Just finished this one too. It's called Echo 3. It's on Apple TV too, because I'm an Apple TV girl. It's basically about a sister, a brother, and a husband. And the brother and the husband are in the army, and the sister is like a scientist, but she really works for the CIA. She gets trapped in Venezuela, in the border. They have to go to war to basically get her back, because from Venezuela to the United States, it is very like, so it's very bad over there. From even the TV show, like they literally filmed it there. So I highly recommend watching this show. It is very eye-opening, and you definitely see that there is a lot of twists and turns. It's very psychological. The girl gets trapped, she gets tortured, they try to brainwash her, and they try to tell her to do things that she shouldn't be doing, and they try to say that she's from the CIA when she's a scientist and all this other stuff. So definitely should watch Echo 3. It has Luke Evans, Jesse Collins, Mitchell Huseman. The cast is amazing. The people in it. It's just one season though. I love drama shows, and I love things that like are psychological thrillers, and they kind of like pick your brain out. So I definitely highly recommend watching. This episode is kind of like a whatever episode, because not all my episodes are going to be like so like informing and great and magnificent and awesome. Because sometimes I don't want to record and I really don't have anything to talk about. Sometimes I just want to spit some knowledge and spit some books and some movies at y'all, and y'all just like take it and absorb it and then go out with it. My next episode though, I will be having a special guest on. My special guest will be trying out this new setup. Hopefully the setup looks good, because I'm not sure what it looks like, because I didn't look or care to look how I set this up. But yeah, I'm very excited for the next couple months of 2023. The first couple months were rough. Got hit like 10 million times over and over again. Felt like I was hitting the fucking road 10 times. But I think life teaches us in weird ways that there are new beginnings coming, and there's new things that we should open our arms to and accept. Right now I've just been working on the pod, working on my work for the practice that I work for, going to my job every day, taking care of my dog, being with my family, enjoying company of my friends, and trying to collab with some of my friends' businesses. Just really opening up my eyes to this news experience, and not trying to be so foreshadowed or trying to be in my shell, because I tend to go ghost for sometimes and not answer my phone, or I tend not to talk to people just because I get very in my head and I want to be like, oh my God, you can handle everything. But realistically I can't, and I'm not Superwoman. So highly recommend reaching out to your family and friends whenever you are feeling lonely, or whenever you are feeling like the world is on top of your shoulders, because there's people out there that are going through the same situation as you are. Will to Win. The Will to Win is a great fucking, I'm just gonna read it. This mindset gives you the control to be who we want. Live our lives the way we want. If you never quit, you'll never fail. This is the will to win. To set a goal and chase it. Chase it like an ancestral hunter, walking down a mammoth until it collapsed for exhaustion. Navy SEAL instructors say that all American Navy SEALs recruit almost always fail. It is the determined who win. Those who have a mentality committed to a cause, I will finish this or I will die. If you aren't willing to make such a good commitment, you don't deserve it. Stop reading and watch a movie instead. Do something easy. Take the day off. Have a me day. The other option, become a legend. Suffer forward through adversity. Fall in love with the fight. Don't forget your greatest weapon, your will to win. So I'm just going to leave that there, because that's probably the best fucking thing you could possibly ever say. Willing to succeed in this lifetime. Your will to thrive. Everybody has a purpose. If you're on this earth and you're alive, you have a purpose. I highly recommend finding that purpose, digging deep within, and figuring out who you want to be in this lifetime, whether that's a singer, a doctor, a lawyer, a pharmacist, a fucking makeup artist, a wardrobe person, a collector, an NBA player, an NFL player, a hockey player, a cook, a dog walker, a vet, I'm just thinking of shit at this point. Anything that you possibly want to be and you think you have a purpose in this life, it's never too late to start anything that you want. It's never too late to actually put one foot in front of the other and actually get shit moving and get shit started. If you continue to fail and you continue to, say that this shit is not okay and oh my God, I have a victim mentality and this is always like this and blah, 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 you will never ever succeed because you're going to continue to victimize your mentality and you're going to continue to be in the state of mind that you don't deserve anything and you're this and you're that, when everybody deserves something in this world, whether it's love, whether it's happiness, whether it's peace. I believe everybody deserves at least something in this lifetime to be happy about, and I hope everybody does find it. This hurricane hitting us, it was very fast and it went away like nothing, just like your life can, if you want me to put it that way, to make it more serious. I always say, please seek help if you need it. I will always vouch for mental health, so please go on Psychology Today, look for a therapist, put in your zip code, put in your insurance. If you don't have insurance, for people to self-pay. Look for other groups that you can join into or anything on social media that will be able to have you talk to somebody. Also, you can look on BetterHelp. That is online therapy for people that don't want to go in person or need to find somebody as soon as possible. Life is constantly changing and it's constantly getting ripped right from under us, and 1 minute we're fine and the next minute we're not, the next minute we're on top of the world, the next minute we're lowest at the low. So please be kind to people and please enjoy each other's company. Don't be rude and look out for each other as much as we can. We're all human and we all feel the same things and we all bleed the same blood, and I don't feel like we should all keep pushing each other away just because of what society has put onto us. I know I said this episode was random, but it did get serious at the end just due to me actually wanting to get my message across from each one of these episodes that we're all one person and we all can make a difference if we all actually put our mind into it. Starting this podcast, I didn't think that it would actually do anything or it wouldn't actually move people the way that I've been getting messaged about. It's honestly great. It actually keeps me going because sometimes, like I said, I don't want to record an episode. I actually don't want to do a lot of the things I do on a normal day-to-day basis, but I do it just for myself and to know that I'm making a difference out in the world and I am trying and I am putting one foot in front of the other and trying to get my life together in some type of order. So this is the end of this episode. Please like and subscribe. As always, be out of your mind as I am trying to myself. Thank you for watching. As always, I am your host, Kathie, and we are out.